Okay, no mucking around with the big long intros. The guys are already here. Of course they were here. They've never left. It feels like they've never left. We've been together since Wednesday night. It's now Monday night. We're still recounting a wonderful weekend. No, it wasn't a weekend. Wonderful 2 days of Barnbougle experience last week. A lot of questions about that. People wanted us to do a podcast down there. It was all part of the plan, and I think the guys will agree. We talked about it at length, but I think after day one of lost count. I can't count how many holes we played, but it was both sides. It was both sides of the river, both courses, and a couple of times. So it was good fun. Anyway, the gents are here. This music got played a fair bit while we were down there. We did enjoy a sunset round at Barnbougle Dunes. And we had the speaker on, playing some new age golf on one of the best golf courses in the world. And Rocket did request his own song. Don't worry about that. How are you, Rocket? You well?
I'm very good, thank you. My legs are feeling better.
Legs are feeling better? Well, you were coming off a long run. It's been a while since you played some quality stretch of golf, and you hadn't enjoyed peak Caridi week ever before.
I wasn't Caridi fit, that's for sure.
You hadn't enjoyed Caridi anything before because you'd never met before, and no. we just launched you straight into it, and welcome to the club of I don't know how to explain. It's not torture. It's absolute pleasure and bliss. And anyone that's asked me of such, knowing what we did undertake.
But if there's light, there's golf.
Exactly right. And anyway, we can talk about it. We're going to talk about Barnbougle today. We're going to talk a little bit about last weekend's PGA Tour event, the Texas Valero Open, some of the tips. We're not doing, this isn't the Masters episode. We will do another episode this week. It's a 2-episode week. We're busy. We will do a separate episode dedicated to the Masters and talk about a little bit of the ANWA, the Augusta National Women's Amateur, which was played last weekend. But how do we start this? Magic, highlights for you. Just whet the appetite of the listeners when we get into the Barnbougle. But the highlights, a couple of key points there that you're going to elaborate on.
I want to go through peak Caridi week because no one will know what you're talking about.
No, everyone knows.
I'm baffled how it's peak Caridi week. Like I was the one forcing you guys to play golf.
Hey, you'd be proud.
It's a badge. What called it?
It's a Caridiism. There's Rocketisms, there's Caridiisms, and Caridiism was founded on Peak Cheese Week. Like when
Peak
someone
Cheese Week, I'll claim that.
When someone said that's one of the sayings of the podcast, Peak Cheese Week. Well, of course, this week's Peak Caridi Week, and when everyone knows that you've been to that Barnbougle that week for 7 or 8 times of your 10.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know that until this week when it came up on Facebook memories that 3 separate times or 4 separate times I'd been to Barnbougle in that exact week.
Yeah. It's a peak week for golf, and it's a peak week down there in particular, and it's a peak week for Caridi, so therefore peak Caridi week.
Yep, I like it.
I think there might be a T-shirt in that. Maybe only 3. Maybe only 3 won't be sold because I might print 3, and you'll get one, I'll get one, and Rocket will get one. But if you want a peak Caridi week T-shirt, we'll have to do a logo up for that. Well, anyway,
highlights. I don't know.
Well, just a top couple.
I don't know. My highlight was eagle in the 4th hole we played. That was good. That was pretty good.
That was my highlight.
Rocket literally galloping across the green and high-fiving me and calling it in about a meter before it hit the cup. He was much more confident than me, had a better view than me.
Just to set the scene, so it's the 4th hole. We've teed off in the dark. I'm faffing around with all sorts of
the drone
camera equipment. I'm faffing around with the drone, trying to meet my legal requirements to keep it the requisite amount of miles away from the people, trying to work out how to film and missed Mike's eagle. I got the approach to the green. I got the look back to the green. I got the aerial above the green. I got the drone dropping down on the hole, but I didn't get the putt and Rocket walking in like Kevin Na style.
Oh, I wasn't walking. I was running. I was running. So let me set the scene. He's absolutely just like, we're early in the morning. He hasn't fully warmed up yet. He's got another 18 holes before he's warmed up. He smoked a driver. We'll talk about that later. Onto the green. Pin was sort of cut that middle in the center, like in that little bit of a valley. And his ball was on the left-hand side, sort of up on sort of a bit of a tier. And basically there was this massive, like left to right turner, sort of had to sort of putt it to the right point on the edge and then let it trickle down to the hole. And I was standing on the other side of the hole, basically where the apex of where the ball needed to go, like it was a beeline straight to the flag, and I had a full line of it. So I kind of read it. And so as he's hit the putt, it's crested the hole. It's crested that little apex, and it was rolling. I'm like, oh, here we go. And then it was probably halfway down the hill, so probably about a meter out, and I just started yelling, "It's in!" And I'm like running.
It was
I'm
one of those
running
ones
towards him.
that, as most golfers know that listen to this, when you hear someone say it's in and it's 3 feet out, it's never going in. But somehow it went in.
It went in the guts.
Yeah,
it went in the guts, and I've done the biggest high five. I was running straight at him, doing the biggest high five.
You did. No, definitely.
So for the people that have been to Barnbougle Dunes, so there are two courses there.
Yeah.
There are Dunes and there are Lost Farm, and then there is Lost Farm. Sorry, it's the fourth hole, and I can't really. Is it the signature hole? It's the hole with the biggest bunker that you've ever seen.
Yes.
It's a shorter
one of the signature holes.
Yeah, one of the signature holes. There's many signature holes.
Oh no, the part 3 can be the signature hole.
In terms of par fours, it's probably the signature par four. It's the one that everyone gets a picture of in the bunker, because the bunker must be 27 feet tall.
Yeah.
It's almost unavoidable because it sets up, you just look at it, so it just draws your eye, draws your ball in there. It's a drivable par four, especially if you're playing off the terracottas like we were. We didn't go black tee. Before anyone asked, did you play black tee? No, we didn't. We played sensible golf. We kept it moving. We played off the terracottas, which provide plenty of challenge, as the scorecard would say, from 5 to 15 handicap.
Yeah.
And Mike's driven the green with his new weapon of choice, the Epic Max LS. Thank you very much to Callaway for making that. Thank you very much to
thank you.
Golf Australia for giving it away as a no, that wasn't the no,
it wasn't the
LS. No, that's the one we gave, but we gave that away. That was your gift for your fine work.
Yeah.
And anyway, went in for a fourth hole. It's pretty good effort.
It was good. It was a highlight. My weekend was full of ordinary golf. So other than that, for me, there wasn't many highlights. You two played very, very good golf. Rocket obviously had a very good day too. I think the highlights was just really enjoying time down there. Really, that's the biggest thing for me. Just being able to, get away and do something we haven't been able to do that often in the last couple of years. Yeah.
I think for me, sorry, I'll let you talk in a sec, Rocket. Sorry to interrupt. I think for me, the mark of an enjoyable golf course is one that when you leave, you want to go back to pretty much immediately. And I probably said the same thing this time last year after Pete Caridi week 1. I probably said the same thing, and you just can't get it out of your mind. Just the whole environment, the whole feel of the two golf courses. Lost Farm grew on me a lot more this year than it did last year, second time out, which is not uncommon for, golf experience. When you have a golf experience at a highlight golf course and you really build it up, and then it wasn't that it didn't live up to the expectations last year, but maybe just because it was that different. I didn't know what to expect, but now that I got to know the nuance of Lost Farm a bit more, I enjoyed it a lot more. But it's just one of those places you want to go back. You don't want to leave. Look at it. It's in the background there. If you want to see the backgrounds that Rocket and Mike have, you've got to tune into the YouTube. We're nearly at the cheese giveaway, by the way, Mike. We've got 140.
I've only got like 6 or 7 to go.
Yes. Come on, guys and girls. There are some girls that listen. Please just get us to 150 YouTube subscribers. You know what? Actually, side note here, I was listening to the Rick Shields podcast, which I don't usually listen to. He does a podcast weekly, obviously, with Guy Charnock, who's a great sidekick for Rick. He's reintroducing the YouTube golf day. It'll be in the UK. Maybe we could go to the YouTube golf. I think we need to have at least 150 subscribers before we could put our moniker on staking a claim at a starting position in the YouTube Golf Day with Rick Shields. If anyone,
so hang on, it's people that are on YouTube go.
Yeah, and we are on YouTube. We've got a dedicated YouTube channel for content creation related to this podcast, which we publish weekly. I would like to think if Rick Shields does do the YouTube Golf Day, and we put an application for a starting position, stating our claim of being, one of Australia's great podcasts, as identified by Golf Business Australia. Thanks very much for putting us in the top 5. So we need to back the claim up with having a few more subscribers. I think at least 150. And if we get to 150, Mike's going to give away some cheese. Australian
and
residents.
If not cheese, it'll be something.
Invite your friends and invite your family.
Australian residents only for cheese.
I'll figure something out.
Permit 212240, all rights reserved. Anyway, sorry, we digress, as we usually do. What were we talking? I was talking about Lost Farm and how it grew on me.
I thought Rocket was going to tell us his highlight.
Yeah, sorry, Rocket, before I interrupted you.
No, you didn't interrupt me.
No, okay.
My highlight? I had a lot. For me, it was just an awesome week with 3 fine gentlemen. That was my highlight. It's just spending three days with you guys. It was bloody awesome. And
Doc's not here. You don't have to say that.
Oh, well, hopefully he's listening.
He might be listening, but it won't be right now.
No, but you know what I mean. It was just awesome fun. It was just really good fun. And, Ross, you're right. There's a part of me thinking, geez, I've got the sticks out. I could quite easily put them back in the travel bag and jump on a flight, make the way back. It wouldn't be hard. Like I could, I'm feeling like my legs could hold up to, probably 3 rounds around Lost Farm in a day.
Well, we'll talk about that in a sec as we dive deeper into the punishment that
Actually, I remember my highlight. I think some of the shots that I hit on Bougle Run, just being a clown.
Yeah.
Just being my true self.
Talk about that too. Well, the highlight for me was seeing 2 gentlemen who have put their trust in me to come and join us on this journey of podcastery on a weekly basis, giving out their time, effort for no monetary reward, only whatever they get out of it personally, come together for the very first time, hadn't met, and, the chemistry is real. And that was one of the proudest moments for me, is seeing these 2 fellas meet each other at the airport. We were waiting for Rocket. His plane was on time. We were sitting in the rental car, just catching up, and then Rocket's plane was on plane watch, and it was a beautiful moment, gents. So that was probably the biggest highlight, was seeing you 2 guys who had never met before, other than via bloody Zoom, come together and get on so well and create a great atmosphere for 71 holes of golf over 2 days. It was great. So thank you. Just talking about me, because I'm prone to talking a little bit about me for a sec. So if I can just indulge myself, shooting 4 over par around Barnbougle Dunes, first up, flying a drone, carrying a camera, and I think I maybe lost 1 ball on the 3rd hole. That was the only hole that I probably didn't take a driver off. I was pretty happy with myself for that. And then after that, I didn't care that Mike was keeping score on every shot, every lost ball, every chip and putt and whatever. I didn't care.
It was only the 1 hole, the one time around.
I'd put my mark on the board and I stated my claim for greatness, and that was my job done. And I could do whatever I wanted for the rest of the week. But it was good fun. It was great fun.
No, the first time around, I worked out our handicaps and Stableford, and you two ended up shooting the same stroke score, and I think it was Ross won. Ross got you by a point or 2.
Yeah, it got me by 1, I think, 1 or 2.
Well,
and you both played really well.
What did I play? 5 and you played a 4 or something like that, Rocket, or thereabouts, whatever.
5 and 4, 4 and 3. Yeah.
Yep. But what happened? But what that meant was Rocket was just fired up. Like he just went full killer beast mode on the Lost Farm day, and like it was like in this zone. Like he wasn't talking. He started to get a little bit of those. If he's alluded to the anger management issues that he may have had in the past. They may have started to percolate to the top a little bit. I did ask him, I said, you still got those anger management issues, Rocket? And there wasn't much of a response, but
No, it was yes, just not as bad as I used to have them.
So he was taking it very seriously on day 2. What did you shoot day 2?
1 over.
1 over. So
yeah, I think you pretty much, that was cost you on one hole, I think. Or did you have did you have a double? Or
remember 12? I hit that. Yeah. I hit that week. How I was having the battles with the driver.
Yeah.
I hit that fan one out in the gunk, and I made double there.
That's it. And that's cost you probably breaking par.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was excellent golf from you, Rocket. Steady as ever, and just putted the dots off it, and chipped and putted. Got up and down when you needed to. Hit it very, very straight with your new TaylorMade.
Eagle the next.
Putted. Did putt. No, I called someone was going to eagle it. I said it's downwind this par 5, and look, we all got a very good chance of getting home in 2. Someone could make an eagle here.
I think it was the bacon and egg rolls.
Shockingly, Rocket made another 40-foot bomb or whatever it was for eagle this time.
Well, that was
putted very well.
That was his probably 5th of the rounds thus far. He was and I'll tell the story. Like I'm sitting there here with my 10-footers, 11-footers. The normal putts that I leave, and missing them just short or just right or whatever. Not going in the hole, and then Rocket's draining these things from downtown, but it's not luck. They're going in, and they don't look like they're missing, and they look like they're supposed to go in. If that makes sense, if you hit putts like that. And I said to Rocket, I said, how are you doing this? Like, what are you doing? And he gave me the masterclass on Rocket's reading, and it didn't help me.
Pick the line, find the spot that I need to roll it over, get the speed, and just roll it over the dot.
I think the speed was the key. I think I said it to you early doors, because those greens were quite slow, as they have to be down there. And I think, I'm not saying I'm a good putter, but I was hitting putts that I thought were good, that were either way too short, or like you said, Ross, they were breaking away because I hadn't given them enough heat to get there.
They looked faster than what they were.
100%. You were hitting putts that I was like, that thing's 8 feet past. And somehow, like I said to you then, a little parachute would jump out about 3 feet out from the hole, and the thing would just turn and break straight in the middle. And I'd just sit there and go, you've got this understanding of how much you need to give it, and you're giving it more than me, and you're just rolling them so much better. It was great.
Before we come back to talking a little bit more about, we want to talk about Bougle Run, because we had the Bougle Run experience for the first time. There was a couple of questions there about Bougle Run. I did get some questions, and I will read them out. I did post respond.
About, I want to say 15.
15 what? Questions?
I would have lost 15 balls in 2 days, but I reckon I found about 13.
And so it was a net -2.
Oh, that wasn't a question? Okay.
No, that wasn't a question. No, everyone was very generous, very gentle and caring and considerate. But so we'll run through some of the questions briefly. No, I had one here. Okay. Dion. No, sorry about this. I had them all here 2 seconds ago. Someone asked about what's the optimal itinerary. So Finding Fairways Australia asked, what's the optimal itinerary? Now, it depends. I'll give you my answer. You guys can chime in. It depends if you want to go Pete Caridi week style, which is just non-stop. If you have to waste, it's not waste, but if you have to get there the night before and stay on site, either of the two accommodations are fine. One's a little bit more salubrious than the other, but they're both great. And tee off first thing. Be ready to tee off in the dark and ready to go. You get there and get your bacon and egg roll, get your coffee done, get ready to go, and try and get first off. And then you can whiz around and get that done really quick. It's easy to play quick if you play fast, and get back to the clubhouse. And then check out, if you haven't booked a second round, check out when you can get on, and then make your plans from then. If you can get on for the replay rate, which is the best way to play as much golf as you can, you play the replay rates. what is it, $140 for the first round?
Well,
I think there's an extra $31.
31, and I think you can play the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Unlimited.
It's $140 for the first round, and then you play another $31 and you play as much as you want. So you can play another 18, go and have whatever refreshments after the second 18. And as the sun's going down, which is peak golden hour, drone flying, camera, tunes playing, camera picture taking, you just go out and play a few 9 holes or go and do whatever. So
those shots we got on 7 when we went out in the afternoon, how good was that with the sun setting over that?
It was amazing. So that was day one. So you get there the night before. So however long it takes you to get there from wherever you come, you get there the night before. You tee off in the dark, and then depending on where you're staying, your options are if you're staying on the Dunes side, you've got the cottage accommodation, and then you've got the clubhouse for Dunes, which is great and has a restaurant and it's a bar, and you see the trophies from all of the people who go down there and have social club type trophies and events. They get stuck up on the fireplace, and it's great. And it's not a la carte, but sort of pub food type fare. We had the lamb shanks. Mike and I had the lamb shanks, and Rocket and Nick had the what did you have? The
Parma. We had the
Yeah,
Parma.
you went the
Absolutely fantastic.
And I think it cost me with 2 drinks and a dessert and $60. Really good. And then the second day, once again, we toddle off to the Lost Farm side, tee off, ready to go. I think we were second group off. Same thing. Oh, yeah, we'll finish this part first. Same thing. We played 18, and then we came back around and did it again. And then we were out of there by 6 o'clock, and we played 35 holes. We didn't get the 40 in because we cut a couple out because there was a couple of slow guys, and we just came back to the clubhouse from where it goes past. But on day one, what we did, back to day one, we did 18 holes in the morning. We went across to Lost Farm, played Barnbougle Dunes, so that's 14 holes, and then we came back for 9 holes. So that was the 40.
Oh, you mean Bougle Run?
Bougle Run, sorry. Played Barnbougle Dunes in the morning, 18, drove across to Lost Farm, played Bougle Run, and then came back to Barnbougle Dunes and played 9 holes as the sun was going down. So that was 41 holes in a day, and that was us spent. Mike, Doc had to retire for some Theragun activities. I don't know if they Theragunned each other.
Which I didn't know what it was. Theragun was until like Thursday morning, and I hear it's like 5:30.
Doc was in a whole world of pain on that. Well, he didn't get out for the day 2, first 18, because he was in a world of hurt after day 1.
Look,
body gave up.
All Rocket and I shared the room both nights. We actually stayed that first night in Bridport at basically the pub, which has got some little hotel accommodation, and
Bridport Hotel Inn.
Bridport Hotel Inn. It was absolutely fine. It's not luxury accommodation, but it was absolutely fine. So, but yeah, after day one, Rocket and I were in the front room. We had the balcony overlooking the putting green, which is right in front of our room. It's a great little facility there if you want to chip and putt. If you don't get off in the dark hours and you've got a couple of daylight hours to kill and you want to prepare for your round, you've got the practice green just there, the driving range just there. All we could hear coming out of the other room was, do you want to go first with the Theragun or me? It was so funny. And then you hear 2 grown men in the room just Theragunning away. Leave you with that thought. But if you suffer from back injuries, tight calves, tight hamstrings, or any of those ailments that if you're like us, plus 30 years old, take a Theragun with you. That's not a sponsored post. Theragun or a cheap gun or whatever you want. What else? Is that an itinerary? And then we played the second day and then came home, drove back, got a flight out of there. If you want to do all the nice things, Lost Farm's got a spa for the men and the ladies to enjoy. It's got the a la carte restaurant. The hotel, the accommodation's a little bit more salubrious, a little bit bigger, more hotel style, put it that way. But the facilities are great. They've got the sports bar. You can get pizzas there. It's all good. So that's what that looks like. That was a long answer to a short question.
It's either, if you want to jam pack it, you could get. It's possible to get a lot of golf in 2 days, and we've shown what's possible. And then if you want to either do more, you could have it 3 days, or if you want to do the same amount of golf but do it over 3 days, you could space things out if you wanted to.
Yeah.
We saw. I did take notice. Sorry, Mike. I did take notice of a couple of groups that arrived sort of halfway through the morning, about lunchtime, and went out and played. And there was another group that had finished clearly with not enough time with the whole group to go back out and do it again. And they were just sort of sitting around. And that's fine. If you want to sit around and relax and have the afternoon off and have beers and do whatever, that's fine. But we were there for Max Caridi style, killer karate golf. And we were just out there. As soon as we could get back on, we were out.
Yeah, I think the big thing, the best advice I'd give anyone is plan in advance and not just about how many days you want to be there, but when you want to go. So if you're thinking you want to go to Barnbougle, their peak times are November to March. So start looking at it now and figuring out days that work, and then do what you just said, Ross, like figure out, okay, well, we want to head in, fly to Launceston or however you want to get there. And then, like you said, getting the day before and getting off that early in the morning gives you the ability to do whatever you want. You might be over it after 18 holes and want to just go sit in the bar, and you can do that. Whereas if you turn up at, like you said, 11 o'clock, tee off, 12 o'clock, by the time you finish, there's a chance you're not going to be able to go into another 18 if you wanted to. So it just gives you more flexibility the earlier you play.
If you love your golf, you'll want to experience it more than once. So if you can do it twice in a day, you will enjoy it. Of course, if you do want to go down there outside of the commercial airlines, we've got to get a rental car and then drive up there and do all that sort of stuff. It's about an hour away from Launceston. Most people know that. Of course, you can go air adventure. If you're lucky, you might get a flight down on the Pilatus PC-12, which we did see. Mike's still not coming around to the Pilatus PC-12, but I saw it and I was very happy. And
no problem with it. If you want to organise 8 people to go down, we can do that.
Good day to Johnny Dyer and the team at Air Adventure. A great man. He's got a dog called Roscoe. So he must be a good fellow if he's got a dog called Roscoe. We've got another question here. Can you find my lob wedge on Bougle Run? I left in the scrub beside 8. Didn't find that, Bowser. I told you that. So that was a question. Swinzer responded.
There was I did see a lost club section somewhere down there, and there's a fair few clubs in there. So no surprise.
How many days, nights should you allow to do the trip properly? I think we've just answered that to Brendan up there in Queensland on Golfer's Journey. 2 nights, 2 days, you can foreseeably do, Rocket's challenge for Rocket Week is 60 holes on Lost Farm. So Lost Farm has 20 holes.
No, this is not Rocket Week. This is part of Caridi Week.
Caridi.
I want to be part. I'm locked in, and I can feel the vibe. So when I'm around the great man, I'm thinking Lost Farm. I'm pretty confident we can punch out 60 holes.
This is it's like when we were there, everyone, this is the way it works. We'd finish golf, we'd sit down, and they'd be like, what do you want to do? Do you want to go back out? And I'd be like, I really don't care. Like, it's up to you guys. Like, I've been here 25 times. Well, we'll go out in a little bit. No worries. We walk into the clubhouse. When can we get off? Well, we can get you off now. What about? Then everyone's like, what about we go out again now? I'm like, I don't care. Cool, let's go. And somehow I'm driving you guys like a slave driver to play more golf. Oh, fantastic. But again, I am up for 60 holes if you want to do that, Rocket.
It was
absolutely.
It was like the same last time. Like, we'll do 18. Do you just want to play another 9?
It's the same. It's the same if we go to King Island. Don't worry,
play another 9, and then 9 becomes 36.
I think the driver for Let's Go Out Now is Doc. He's like, I can't sit down. My back will lock up. We have to keep moving. Let's just grab a sandwich and a drink and let's go.
Just start walking.
So the next team challenge is to do 60 holes of Lost Farm in a day. So that'll be teeing off first doors and then just going bang, bang, bang. And it could be done.
That could be it's actually a really good longest day. You could do Barnbougle Dunes 3 times
and Bougle Run.
Bougle Run, and then you covered your 72 and a bit. Because it's
I love it.
No, you can do Lost Farm. Yeah, Lost Farm 3 times, and then Bougle Run. Yeah, like it. That's the plan. Sorry, I've just flicked off where the other questions were. My bad. We didn't find the time capsule on 15 on Dunes. Sorry about that.
What was a time capsule?
I think some of the boys, Kangaroo Caddy boys,
I do know,
have put something somewhere on 15 on Lost Farm, Barnbougle Dunes. Sorry,
it's under the
I've been under the mod ball in the bunker.
Dion,
I bladed it out of there.
Dion wants to know: describe the shot that stayed with you after the trip.
for me, it's obviously my drive the green on the par 4, but it's if it's not me, if I'm thinking about the whole trip, it's Rockets near ace.
Mm.
I still don't know how that didn't go in.
What hole was that on Bougle Run?
8.
It was 8, was it?
Yeah, and that's the one where I told you where I was going to hit it. I was going to backboard it off that mound.
What I thought was 15 meters too long, and it didn't have enough slope in my mind to come back to the hole, and somehow it stopped like a thumbnail from going in center cup.
Yeah.
It was ridiculously unlucky that it didn't take another quarter of a dimple roll and it would have gone in the hole. We did get to witness, we didn't see it go in the hole, but we did see one of the other groups have a hole in one on, was it 7?
We were playing Lost. Were we playing?
Yeah, we were playing Lost
Farm.
Yeah, and it was the high hole, maybe
12.
12.
Oh, the one that I was doing with chip shots around the corner.
Yeah.
We won't repeat the language that they used to describe their joy of it's gone in the no.
Beep,
won't,
beep,
anyway.
beep, beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, Morse code.
Favorite hole. Dion wants to know favorite hole across all 3 tracks.
Well, you can go first.
Well, I've already answered that, and I said Tom's Little Devil, which is the 7th on Dunes. Any hole that I can't master somewhat holds a challenge for me, and I think because it's one of the most photogenic holes, maybe one of the most photographed holes, and it just provides a great spectacle to look at, but also as a challenge. That gets my nod for being the favourite. It stands out being memorable, and I want to go back. It's like the Redan hole at North Berwick. I love that hole. It's a longer par 3, and it's one of the template holes. And I remember my satisfaction when I parred it for the first time. I haven't played it maybe 4 or 5 times. I parred it for the first time. I was like, yes. And I haven't experienced that properly on Tom's Little Devil. So I can't wait for that feeling. That's me. Rocket, what about you?
7 definitely, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. It's it's an odd one, which is 13 at Lost Farm. Even though I struggle off the tee on that one, for some reason, the second shots, I don't, it fits my eye. I don't think I've hit a bad second shot into that hole ever.
Yep.
Is
That's
that
the dog leg left par 4?
The one where you smoked it about 310?
No. I hit 2 of the worst drives ever on that hole.
No, not you, Mike.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah,
that didn't go 310. It was like closer to 330.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You're starting to sound like me. When people said memorable shot, like memorable shots for me were being behind Mike Caridi off the tee. And if you've listened to this podcast once or twice, you've heard me talk about my own driving success, and I was behind. I was behind him.
Yeah, it's because he's using an illegal club. It's a bloody cheat stick.
Well, the fact that it has been CT tested by the USGA and called up.
They don't test nothing. They don't test nothing.
Who tested it then? Where was it?
I can tell you now. I've been saying to you since I was the very happy beneficiary of that gift.
This should be illegal.
This club is a rocket. It's unbelievable. That low spin driver for me is just perfect. And the highlight of my trip probably was at one point when you turned around, Ross, and said, "Why are you driving it so far?" And I said, "I don't know. It just works."
It was like when I asked Rocket, how are you doing that? Like, how is that ball going in the hole from downtown with so much ease? Like you're expecting it to go in. Like, how am I not?
Yeah, well, when you use a hot driver, of course it's going to go very long.
No,
that drive though that you're talking about, that was a big. The best part was you were all spraying me for having an illegal driver, and I had the shaft in the wrong angle, so we fixed the grip.
Yeah, and then you ripped
Callaway driver, and I hit 120 meters further than I'd hit the last.
Doc that named it the cheat stick. That was so good.
Callaway is a reputable brand, and it is an exceptional golf club. I recommend it to anyone.
If you don't follow PGA Tour, it's just that Rocket's mentioning that one of the Callaway staffers was
Xander.
Xander
One
Schauffele.
of them. One of them.
Xander at
one of
Open,
them.
I think.
Xander Schauffele, remember Rocket, who we got a
Driver doper.
It was tested and it was illegal. It was just a hot face, and that happens. That happens in golf club production. You can get a hot face, and he obviously had one, and it was tested. Anyway, that was a Callaway Epic.
Mike doesn't have a hot face. He's got a volcanic face.
For a second there, I thought Ross said, and Mike has a hot face, and so let's just all move on.
Well, the whole talk about your driving distance leads into the next question: who's got the best calves? That's the no-brainer.
Not me.
It's hard because I'm the only one that wears shorts.
Yeah. So
Rocket wore shorts as well. So
no, did he?
Well,
you're a funny man. You're a funny man.
That was another question. Are they short longs or long shorts?
Yeah, I did look at the photos. I'm like, yeah, maybe they're a bit on the long side.
It's been a while since he's been into a golf shop for golf shop fashion, but yeah, you're right. They're a bit different these days, Rocket. The old golf shorts, they're a little bit short, a little bit. You've got the body. You should be able to carry off the modern day golf short.
Get the Warwick Kappas on or something like that.
Not quite, but not that bad. But they're definitely not long shorts or short longs, or they don't leave a question mark anyway.
It's funny.
Jeepers weepers. Favorite par 5 on the property? That's from Duggar.
Ooh.
That's a great question.
There's a lot.
It's not one on June's. Not that I don't. It's not that I don't like it. It's just it's not that one. It's not 12 on. It's not 11 on Lost Farm.
No, you mean 12 because there's 10 and 12. Remember, I'm a big fan of 10.
Sorry, 12. Yeah,
I'm a massive fan of 10. I love 10.
Yeah, take it 10, 12.
That hole has kicked my butt a lot.
No, I need to think about that.
I'm a big fan of 10. I like 10.
I don't mind 10. I think it's hard because, so I shouldn't say it's difficult because we had the best weather. I said we had no wind, but I like a par 5 that if there's any ability with two really well struck shots that you can get there, and I don't think I could possibly get to 10. Hit 2 good shots. It's a very long way. I don't know.
Yeah, but both days we played 10. It was a little bit into the wind.
Yeah,
especially off the tee.
That's it. I just can't think of whether that's the normal wind or not. I don't know. What about you, Ross?
The one on Lost Farm, the long one, the hard one.
8.
Yeah. Goes long hard.
8.
Yeah, the one where I rolled in another 50 million foot putt for birdie in the morning.
Is that a par 5?
Remember the one where the dudes off 4 at Barnbougle Run nearly popped me down on the flat?
But is that a par 5?
Yeah. Remember the big long par 5? You got that spine running through the middle, and it goes up the hill to that big monster green.
Yeah, tough hole.
I think that's par 4.
No. It's the longest par 4 on the planet if that's the case.
Yeah.
Maybe because of your driver. Maybe because of your driver. It feels like a par 4.
No, I'm thinking about a different hole. Sorry, you're right.
Okay, describe the shot. No, we've described that. Just favorite photo that you took. Oh, too many, Dion. I took a lot of good photos. And thank you to Barnbougle for reposting all the ones I put on stories. I really do appreciate that Instagram love. Favorite hole across all 3 tracks. We've talked about that. Didn't find the lob wedge. Heading down. Just how this is going to be a little bit of a controversial answer, and we need to answer it appropriately. Just how much fun / good is Barnbougle Run? And then the secondary question from Swinzer was which accommodation option? Well, I think we've covered that off in the previous answer. But just how much fun and good is Barnbougle Run? Now, answer that without.
No. I will answer
the thing that was the sticking point for us on that. One of the things, but
so for me, I think first things first. We've only played it once, right? So I would look at it and say I'd want to go and play it again before I make a definitive. This is what I think of it. It was fun. There was certainly some holes that I thought were good. I felt like there was a short par 4 one of the there was 2 par 4s, and one of them was that drivable par 3, effectively, which I don't think anyone that's above a 10 handicap going to be driving. So I think that was an interesting hole. And then the other one was a shortish, sort of flat, straight par 4. Now, I don't know whether that plays into the wind sometimes or down breeze, and maybe it's drivable. So maybe it was a bit different to the way we saw it played. That hole didn't really grab me that much. And so there's a few holes that I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. That was a interesting little hole. I think for me, the biggest thing is going to be that if I think back to the course and think about how many of them are memorable, there would probably be maybe 6 or so holes. And I think you were right when you talked about it, Ross, around we enjoyed it more when we stopped playing it like a golf course and started playing it like a bit of fun. And I think that was a mistake that I made, was probably going there and thinking we go there and play it rather than go there and just hit some fun shots and enjoy the terrain. And, the idea was, which I didn't bring down the Seamus bag, but take a handful of clubs and go, which again would be tricky because a couple of the holes you still need to hit driver. So yeah, I don't know. I'm still a bit undecided. Yeah.
Yeah.
And who started being the goofball?
You would have hit.
It's me.
On that one hole when you started being a goofball, I reckon you would have hit 25 balls down the hill. I'm going to ground hook this one. I'm going to do this.
Oh no, that was about 5 holes after I started. Remember the first one where it was like someone? I think you said, "Oh, you could probably putt this."
Putt it, and he pulled.
So I did.
Out. That's right, he did. So yeah, and that sort of stuff that is what that should be for me. Yeah,
and the whole course sets up quite well for doing that. There's backboards behind the short greens that are uphill, and there are sideboards, so you can really rail it off the berm, so sort of use some motocross speak, and it sets up well to try and do that. If you went out there with a 7-iron and a putter, maybe excluding the holes where you need either a 5-wood or a driving iron off the tee or a driver. But I even think if you went with a 4-iron, 8-iron and putter, you would have so much fun trying to fashion your way around that course.
I think it'd be mixed. If you just mixed up the tees, you could easily just take a 7-iron and a putter.
Yeah.
Like if we just, like I said, we played off the whatever tee it was, the back tee. If you stepped it up on a hole because you knew that you couldn't hit your 7-iron where you wanted to and it went up, you'd be fine. But yeah, I think a couple of drinks, a couple of clubs, twilight, be great. But yeah, that just, I think as well for us, and not putting, I don't want to make this a explicit podcast, but not putting shit on us. We've just come off playing 18 holes on Barnbougle Dunes. We've not rushed over, but we've made a quick run over there. We're probably still in playing golf mode rather than having a bit of fun and hitting some fun shots. And it probably took us 10 holes to do that. So I think that wasn't in its favor either. So I think there's a lot of positives about it. I really would like to play it again and probably just then make a decision on whether I would play it a third time.
Yeah, it's the other question that we had around it was the value proposition, and not to say that paying $80 for it is not good value, but we just thought that that maybe there was a way that it could be incorporated into a replay rate, or if you're spending the whole day there and you're paying for the whole day's worth of golf, that it's at least included in the choice. But I get how that would be hard to manage and facilitate and all that sort of thing. So yeah, for a day, considering that you can get for $160, $70, 40 great holes, maybe even more on the other course, and then have to play another $80 to do that. That was the only thing that us tight A's could think about. But
maybe all day rate is,
you can book
whatever it is, it's $180 and you can play anywhere.
Yeah. So something like that, and you'd be happy. And I think if we played 40 holes by 3:00, like we did the other day, we effectively should have been finished by 3:30, 4 o'clock had we not been held up by whatever. We could have sat down, had a southerly bust or a Coke or whatever, and then gone out and done that and played that in 2 hours, and then come back for tea at 7 o'clock, and it would have been great.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I think just go there with the expectation that if you want to go and play golf and shoot low there, it's not that sort of joint. It's not that sort of course. So go there and have some fun and chip some balls around the berm. You know, we sat there. We probably took, if we took 20 minutes to play a hole, 10 minutes of that was on the green, putting up the ramps and trying to get holes, you know, the ball to get in the hole.
Or waiting for me because I'm hitting like about 17 shots into a hole. Remember which was the one where you were trying to take footage at the back and I had it stop on that bank where I was just hitting these little
before you nearly made the ace.
Yeah. I was hitting these little, like trying to hit this little punch 6 iron to land in this back tier to then have it roll down. Like I think I hit like about 7 shots.
And it like defied gravity on the fringe.
Yeah, the only one.
Yeah. So that's fun. That's what if that was the design intention of Richard Sattler and the Core and Crenshaw team that masterfully crafted, you know, more golf into the property on this dune that sits there that otherwise wasn't being used. If that was the intention, it ticks that brief unbelievably. We've said how we see it, and sorry, Rocket, you're going to say?
Well, I think you know, like I know we talked about this a lot. It's like, and the really good point from Mike to say it wasn't until we started mucking around that we kind of enjoyed it. And, you know, Nick made the point. He said there's about 5 par 3s here. If they were on any other course, it'd be like signature hole.
Yeah.
There are some great par 3s.
Yeah.
And it is. I think it's next time we play it, it'll be, you know, maybe it's we play that the night before or something like that. Or it is one of those we've played, it's the one we do at the end of the day to try and as a loosener, right? And we only take a couple of clubs.
Yeah.
And it just becomes just trying to fashion shots and do stuff and have just a dead set laugh. That's the perfect one. Put some tunes on and just try and just hit some weird shots.
So before we wrap up on the questions, I don't think we've fully answered the best cars, but Mike has the best cars, clearly. Favorite course?
It's Lost Farm for me. Always has been.
This trip, it's Lost Farm. Each time I've come home, it's been a different course, but I'd say 80% of the time when I get home, it's Lost Farm.
I love it.
I think I have to answer it in a different way. I'm probably going to end up with the same course. But if I went back there tomorrow to try and play it and I was playing golf and trying to play proper golf, I'd go back to Lost Farm. Because both times we've done it on the second day. I've never done it on the first day. So I've never really experienced this with that first day freshness. And, you know, I experienced dunes with first day freshness and not a lot of wind. So it was great conditions and posted a decent score. I immediately feel elevated about that course. But there I immediately think about the challenge of the course that I haven't really posted the score, but I haven't really approached it, had the opportunity to play with that first day freshness. Now that might sound like an excuse, whatever. But, you know, there's 41 holes the day before. I'd like to play that course first the next time, if at all possible. So that's not really a favorite course, but that's the one that I would go back to play immediately tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe the next trip is like we go Lost Farm, Bougle Run. Day 2 is Dunes, probably twice. Day 3, we've bedded in 60 holes to finish, like an absolute marathon.
I was sure we're on a short haul flight to King Island then for a second. I didn't see day 3 being back on Lost Farm.
Because you've got to save some gas for the all day rate at King Island, because we will stay up at King Island. You've got to at the Cape Wickham property there, where you can go out and just dabble your feet in the water and hit some wedges off the beach up onto the green.
I haven't been there yet.
Oh, really?
Ooh, no, I've got that itinerary down pat.
Mike's the unofficial mayor of King Island, being the future CEO of Saputo, which basically is the economic hub of King Island. So I'm sure he's got some pull down there.
No, the itinerary for King Island's easy. You fly in, you get in a car, you drive straight up to Wickham, you play 18 holes, grab a sandwich, you play another 18 holes, and then you go back to the pub in town, and then you're ready for the next day to do the same at Ocean Dunes. Be close to the airport so you can go straight out. One night. That's it. Done. 72 holes. Or do what Cheese and I did on the last trip. Fly around Ocean Dunes quick enough that you can play another 8 after that. It was good.
Okay. Well, that's the next on the adventure list. What else do we have to talk about in relation to Barnbougle? Saw a small brown snake. We saw a kestrel.
Very small.
We saw about 1.1 million wallabies, 2 of which scared the absolute bejeepers out of me while I was standing there videoing the bay. I'm not sure what the bay is called, but over Bridport. It's just near Tom's Hut, which is the back of 4. I was standing there, and these 2 wallabies just bounded out from literally under my feet. Scared the you-know-what's out of me. I might have it on video too. What else do we see? Anything else? There's no other. Yeah, Mike found 13, lost 12. I think I lost a couple of. I didn't actually lose too many balls.
No, I reckon I averaged for the 3 full rounds we played. I would have averaged around 30 Stableford points, but I lost 6 balls, and I was helped by the Irish drop rule, keeping me around that 30 mark.
Yeah.
But gee whiz, there's a lot of golf balls out there. Found.
We launched some new merchandise. If anyone picked up on that through any of the photos, we've got the new M-Log flag hats. I'm wearing the high peaked one with the black and silver flag motif. We've only ever had the blue and blue. This is the black and grey or black and silver.
I was wearing mine today. That's a great hat.
It's got the Mike and Rocket have got the rope hats. So there is a rope hat version. So we might put some pictures of those. And if anyone, we might have to do a couple of giveaways. We might need a couple of emails.
It's a great hat. I bought a heap of hats and I didn't wear any of them. I just went with that one.
And the towel, the caddy towel, the proper caddy towel, the PRG caddy towel with the Mile of Golf flag logo emblazoned on there. No, they're in the wash. Don't have one. I do have one. I do have one here. But yeah, no. So there we go. Look at that. How good does that look? Once again, if you want to see that, you need to tune into the YouTube. If we get to 145, Mike's going to put some cheese out. It's a big towel, it's a proper white towel, like tall level towel.
It's a proper towel.
Yeah.
And the best thing about it when you gave it to me, and I was very nervous, it's got the loop already on it, sewn on it. Love a towel that has a loop already on it so that I'm not going to lose that towel. Just clips onto my carabiner on my golf bag and I'm ready to go. And
it hangs in the middle. So you've got the beautiful draperage of the towel. So, but if you like to wind the towel around your umbrella, tour style, or put it under the cradle of your buggy to protect your bag, tour style, you can do whatever you want. It's got the Mile of Golf logo on it. Anyway, we've got some of them. What else?
That was about it, I reckon.
The Valero Open. Who won that?
JJ Spawn was a winner this week. Probably a bit of a shock winner. His first win. He's been playing okay without really doing anything that looked like he was going to threaten to win, but he did do very well down the stretch. It's another one of those events where there's a lot of guys here that were fighting for a spot into the Masters. This was the last spot in. And a lot of people looked very nervous. Some guys that you wouldn't expect to be either. But they were. And he ended up winning. Matt Jones flew home. He shot 6 under today and finished second with Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar, I think, is missing his first. That would have got him into the Masters. I think he's missing his first major in about 10 years or something like that. He played very good golf this week. Adam Hadwin, Troy Merritt, Charles Howe, Beau Hostler was right in there. He was my pick for the week. I know he wasn't, sorry. Gary Woodland was my pick. He was right in there as well. It was a saying before we started recording. It was a very nothing tournament this week. It was I don't know whether it was just waiting to keep the excitement.
The only tournament to watch was Pete Caridi week.
It was. And if you were doing well on the tipping, which none of us really were.
No.
Who
got the best result out of the 3 of us in the tipping?
I did. I got Gary Woodland. He finished 8th. You had Martin Leder finished 29th, and Rocket's pick in
Mr. Cut.
He missed the cut. The best for the week though was Zach Ginevra. He picked Matt Jones, who flew home for him, and he was the best result by a mile. He had 760.
I was going to say, if anyone picked JJ Spawn,
no one had JJ Spawn. Well, I'm look. I suppose it's an Aussie. We're an Aussie podcast, so people are going to pick Matt Jones, but I wouldn't have picked Matt Jones. Then again, Adam Baldwin, who's had the second pick, he had Adam Hadwin, and I wouldn't have picked Adam Hadwin either. A few of us picked Gary Woodland, Golfing Tattooist, Kirky, How Good's Golf, Ursus Hammertow, and myself. Siwoo, a lot of people would have picked, but it's funny some of the names that people pick. You just think, oh yeah, okay. Oh, I get some of them. Like, oh yeah, I can see that. Like Davis Riley, yep, I can see that. But then Smiling Golfer picked Paul Barjon. I wouldn't have picked Paul Barjon. I if I really stretched my bone and said, yeah, I get it. He's coming off Corn Ferry and whatever else, but you just need to jag one of those, and all of a sudden you're getting the dollars that no one else is getting. So put him back.
Just shout out to Adam Baldwin. Good to see Baldy up there, fellow PK member, great man of the AFL. Baldy, well done. Keep at it. Okay.
Only other thing was, I know we're going to talk Masters tomorrow. Is Tiger going to play?
He's in.
He's in.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's not fueling up TW12 to bloody fly up there and back, on a daily basis for nothing. He's in.
Don't know. I'm still
talking about trackers. Some of our listeners have got Rocket Tracker because as soon as I posted that first photo, like my mentions lit up in the Instagram. Are you back? I don't think I'd finished posting it.
Rocket had one of the world's longest in social media or Instagram social media hiatuses. He did include the Twitter, which he's prolific in as a hiatus for a long time, but he came back, went back to Rodney Heron, gets a bit funky with the political stuff and all of that, but posts some good golf stuff. And he's gone back on the Instagram. He's changed his approach to Instagram. He's now MLogRocket, which he's really going, and he's changed his bio. He now refers to himself as a co-host of the Mile of Golf podcast, which I appreciate very much. So we're just going to see that as Golf Rocket. You've got some other family stuff and some other random stuff down the feed. I don't think the algorithm likes if you go and delete that, but is everything from this point forward going to be golf?
Yeah.
Like you're going to excite the fans with the golf wisdom, and that you're going to start posting that on Instagram.
Yeah.
On a committed basis?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, but you're back anyway. Well done. And
back. I can't. If I do it committed, I've got to carve out little bits of time to go and do what I want. I can't be looking at it all the time. It's got to be a little bit one way.
Okay. Well, bloody Barnbougle reposted one of your photos. So
this one, I think.
Yeah, not many people get that level of credibility from the Barnbougle handle.
Hey, what can I say? There was no red carpet at the airport, so they made it up with the post.
I put up the beautiful photo with the red sky and crickets. That's what I got. No reposts.
I do, speaking of red skies, I do want to give a shout out to our fourth member of the team. And we wouldn't have done it without him. He did miss one of the mornings because he was suffering from a back ailment. But the doctore, Nick Smith, marketing department. So these two guys were in the front of the rental car, and they were, they were the ideas team, the content team, navigators, and marketing. Nick and I were sitting in the back. That was just a bit of a trip joke, whatever. But Nick, your participation in the trip is much appreciated and valued, and you're a great man.
One-liner king.
One-liner king, and just a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information, and a very pleasant man to be around for a couple of days on a golf course. Theragunning, your good mate, Magic Mike. So we can't wait to have you back. We have to do another one somewhere in between now and the end of the year.
Yes.
Like we can't leave it to peak Caridi week. Like peak Caridi week will always be the end of March, and that's peak Caridi week. So we have to find another peak something or whatever you call it, rampage and rocket week. And we have to do.
I like the longest day idea.
Okay.
down there.
Why not?
You're going to have to find the time to do it, daylight wise.
Yeah, it has to be daylight savings wise. So
It isn't longest day around November anyway.
December.
Yeah, it's
December.
alright.
Maybe we could get 2 groups of 4 air adventure down and back. No, you have to go overnight because they don't fly in the dark. But that's okay. We could go down the night before, do that. Boom. 2 groups of 4, 3 groups of 3 or something like that. Anyway, we'll plan that. Gents, it's been an hour. It's late on a Monday night. We'll probably be doing this again tomorrow night.
Yep.
Thanks for listening, everyone who's tuned into our, just 3 blokes sitting around talking about a golf trip. If you have listened this far, thank you very much. If you want us to get to the Rick Shields YouTube golf day, which is just announced this week, happy to represent us if we can get an invite. We might need to get to 150 YouTube followers. So subscribe on the YouTube. We'll be putting this video up and you can see our smiling faces and our wind, a little bit windswept there. I've got a little bit of a red nose from wearing a mask back in retail when it was good to get out of a mask for a couple of days. A little bit ruddy. Mike's complexion is beautiful as always. And Rocket, he's just ready to go again.
Yep. All I want to say is, again, thank you, gentlemen, for an amazing week. I absolutely needed it. And so even coming back to work this week was felt so much better because of, I'm still buzzing from last week. So all I want to say is thanks because I needed it.
Got to look after your mental health, Rocket. And if that means getting out in the golf course a little bit more often, we're here to help with that. Look after your mental health. Got to look after your physical health, especially the men amongst us. Had a great catch up with Patrick Cripps today, captain of Carlton. 3 massive games on the trot for them. We were talking about our good friend Sammy Doherty and how instrumental he's been. Still on his, way back to his best. But, I got emotional talking about Sam and his journey with Cripper. And so check your downstairs as well. And look after your mental health, look after your physical health. And, we'll just keep playing more golf. What do you reckon?
Yep.
Done.
All right. We'll see you next week. We won't see you next week. We'll see you tomorrow night.
See you tomorrow.